These artists had huge futures that were tragically cut short. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 musicians who died at their peak.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at popular artists from across decades and musical genres who died too soon, but whose legends continue to live on. Number 10. Bob Marley. The unofficial Jamaican ambassador to the world, Bob Marley had a long, fruitful career despite his early death. Entering the limelight in the mid-60s with the Wailers, Marley's position in the group would grow until he split off and fronted a second group of the same name. His star continued to rise as a solo artist, in part due to a new mainstream interest in reggae through Eric Clapton's cover of Marley's I Shot the Sheriff, as well as Bob's wise, authentic songwriting. Marley's final single while alive, Redemption Song, written while he was facing certain death from melanoma, is considered by many to be among his finest. Number 9. XXXTentacion. José Onfroy, better known as XXXTentacion, was said to be one of the next big things in hip-hop. Murdered in an apparent robbery, the 20-year-old's short life was one marked by crime, violence, acts of charity, and prolific bouts of creativity. Taking influence from guitar-heavy genres like nu metal and emo, XXXTentacion had a fresh, unique sound that resulted in 7 singles debuting within the Billboard Hot 100, and a sophomore album that debuted at number 1. Following his death, he became the owner of the first posthumous number 1 single since Biggie Smalls, and would also have a posthumous collab with the late Lil Peep. Number 8. Avicii. Tim Avicii Bergling started producing music at only 16 years old. Eventually finding fame with the single Levels and his 2013 album True, Avicii quickly became an in-demand remixer, festival headliner, and collaboration partner, working with the likes of Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, Coldplay, and David Guetta. He'd also received nominations for multiple awards, including 2 Grammy nods, but his success was slowed by alcohol abuse and a range of physical and mental health concerns, forcing him to retire from touring in 2016 and culminating in his suicide 2 years later. In addition to 2 studio albums and 4 EPs, Avicii left behind more than 200 compositions in various states of completion. Number 7. Selena. A certified Latin superstar, Selena was set to make a similar breakthrough in the English-speaking world. Her album, Entre a mi mundo, spent 8 straight months on top of Billboard's Mexican albums chart, and at 23, she gained enough recognition to finally follow through on her desire to record an album in English. The album, Dreaming of You, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in July of 1995, but ultimately became a posthumous release when Selena was shot and killed by her former friend and fan club president, Yolanda Saldivar, who had been fired due to embezzlement. Number 6. Aaliyah. Aaliyah's career path was something out of a made-for-TV movie. Appearing on Star Search at the age of 10, she'd go on to perform with Gladys Knight before signing a record contract at 12. Under the mentorship of R. Kelly, she released Age Ain't Nothing But a Number at 15, and would release 2 more albums before her tragic death at 22. Following the production of the video for her single Rock the Boat, Aaliyah and her entourage were killed in a plane crash, heartbreakingly cutting short what could have been a remarkable career. In death, however, she would collect multiple awards and have continued chart success with posthumous releases. Number 5. Janis Joplin. A member of the infamous 27 Club, Janis Joplin didn't live to see her career hit its highest point. Exploding onto the scene via 1967's Monterey Pop Festival while fronting Big Brother and the Holding Company, Joplin soon outgrew and parted ways with her band, and eventually put together the Full Tilt Boogie Band. Appearing at Woodstock and joining the almost mythical Festival Express tour in Canada, Joplin was set to release her masterpiece when she died of a heroin overdose in a Hollywood hotel room. The album Pearl would be released in January of 1971, spending 9 weeks on top of the Billboard chart. Number 4. Jimi Hendrix. Discharged from the army after a year's worth of subpar service, Hendrix would work his way through the Chitlin circuit, eventually backing artists like Little Richard and the Isley Brothers. Moving to England to work with Chas Chandler in 1966, Hendrix would release 3 studio albums and completely revolutionize the concept of electric guitar playing in a remarkably short period of time. In the midst of a creative retooling that saw Jimi build a recording studio, form Band of Gypsies, and experiment with a sound similar to jazz fusion, the guitarist died of asphyxia caused by drug use, robbing the music world of one of its greatest talents. Number 3. Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. The later stages of the careers of Tupac and Biggie were wrapped in bitter rivalry. Once friends and mutual admirers, the two MCs were dragged into the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud and would face the same end, death by drive-by shooting. Tupac's final album while alive, All Eyes on Me, was a huge seller, with 2 #1 singles, and he'd later have 5 posthumous albums, 4 of which have gone platinum. Biggie, meanwhile, would break into the music world through his classic 1994 debut, Ready to Die, work with both Michael Jackson and Shaquille O'Neal, and in death would become the first artist to have 2 posthumous #1 hits, Hypnotize and Mo Money, Mo Problems. Number 2. Kurt Cobain. Like Jimi Hendrix before him, Kurt Cobain fronted a 3-piece rock combo that, for a time, revolutionized popular music. Eventually settling on Dave Grohl as a drummer in 1990, indie darlings Nirvana broke into the mainstream with 1991's Nevermind, and kept the momentum going with 1993's In Utero. But with health troubles, heroin addiction, a troubled mental state, and the pressures of fame in the industry weighing him down, Cobain committed suicide in 1994, a death still wrapped in an air of mystery. His death would inadvertently gift the world with the Foo Fighters, but also deny it a brilliant and unique songwriter and performer. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Amy Winehouse. With a distinct and retro-influenced talent, Amy Winehouse made a remarkable impression in her short life. Winning praise from legends like her one-time duet partner Tony Bennett, Winehouse was unquestionably and legitimately talented, although her alcohol dependency would also earn her jeers from the paying public. But in top form, Winehouse was simply untouchable. Her largely self-penned final album Back to Black helped net her 5 Grammys and topped the charts in Britain and many other European countries, hit number 2 on Billboard, and boasted 5 UK Top 40 hits. Following her tragic death, her first posthumous compilation album, Lioness Hidden Treasures, hit number 1 in Britain and number 5 stateside. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.